doing a soft Bible reading tonight. So we're not going to do a Bible study or anything like that. So we're not going to be going over the SOAP method. We're just going to be listening to some soft lo-fi as I read the book of Matthew, chapters 22 to 23. And if the Lord places on my spirit to read any more of the chapters, we're just going to continue on, right? So for those of you all who are new here, my name is Christie Love, and on this channel, I talk all things Christian content. So I talk about how to use biblical principles with your entrepreneurship and with your everyday life. So tonight, you guys, the Lord just led me to come on here and to go live. I took a break for a couple of days, so I decided to come and just continue what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, right? And that's reading in the book of Matthews. So we're almost finished, you guys. We are just about complete with the book of Matthews. Matthew has 28 chapters, and tonight we are getting started on chapter 22. So I'll probably just read 2, maybe 3 chapters, but we're going to continue this thing throughout the rest of this week. So if you guys don't catch me live tonight, you can catch it on the replay, and then I will be back live on tomorrow. And I'll post it in my community the time that I'll actually go live, so that way you can set your notification and, you know, meet us here on the live. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with chapter 22, which is titled The Parable of the Wedding Banquet. Once more, Jesus spoke to them in parables. The kingdom of heaven is like a king who gave wedding banquet for his son. He sent his servants to summon those invited to the banquet, but they didn't want to come. Again, he sent out other servants and said, "Tell those who are invited, see, I prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fattened cattle has been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding banquet." But they paid no attention and went away, one to his own farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged, and he sent out his troops. He killed those murderers and burned down their city. Then he told his servants, "The banquet is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. Go then to where the roads exit the city and invite everyone you can find to the banquet." So those servants went out on the roads and gathered everyone they found, both evil and good. The wedding banquet was filled with guests. When the king came in to see their guests, he saw a man there who was not dressed for a wedding. So he said to him, "Friend, how did you get in here without wedding clothes?" The man was speechless. Then the king told the attendants, tie him hand and foot, and throw him into the outer darkness, where there would be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. For many were invited, but few are chosen. Hi, welcome to the live. Is it Marta? Thank you so much for attending the live. Amen. Thank you so much. Then the Pharisees went and plotted how to trap him by what he said. So they sent their disciples to him, along with Herodians. "Teacher," they said, "we know that you are truthful and teach truthfully the way of God. You don't care what anyone thinks, nor do you show partially. Tell us then, what do you think? Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" Perceiving their malicious intent, Jesus said, "Why are you testing me, hypocrites? Show me the coin used for the tax." They brought him a denarius. "Whose image and inscription is this?" he asked them. "Caesar's," they said to him. Thank you so much for liking the live. Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you, Marta. Hi, Andres. Thank you so much for liking the live. Then he said to them, "Give then to Caesar the things that Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." When they heard this, they were amazed. So they left him and went away. The Sadducees and the resurrection. That same day, some Sadducees who say there is no resurrection came up to him and questioned him. "Teacher, Moses said if a man dies having no children, his brother is to marry his wife and raise up the offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first got married and died, Having no offspring, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second also, and the third, and so on to all seven. Last of all, the woman died. In the resurrection, then whose wife will she be of the seven? For they all had married her. Jesus answered him. Jesus answered them, "You are mistaken, because you don't know the scriptures or the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. Now concerning the resurrection of the dead, haven't you read what was spoken to you by God? I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of dead, but of the living." And when the crowds heard this, they were astonished by his teaching. When the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they came together. And one of them, an expert in the law, asked a question to test him. "Teacher, which command in the law is the greatest?" He said to them, "Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. This is the greatest and the most important. The second is like, love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets, all the law and the prophets depend on those two commands." The question about the Messiah. While the Pharisees were together, Jesus questioned them, "What do you think about the Messiah? Whose son is he?" They replied, "David's." He asked them, "How is it then that David, inspired by the Spirit, calls him Lord? The Lord declared to my Lord, 'Sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your foot.'" Make the music from the background. Should I lower it? Should I lower the music? Just make the music from the backgrounds. I can lower it. Is that what you're saying? Is that okay? All right, and now we're on chapter 23. Then Jesus spoke to the crowds and to his disciples. The scribes and the Pharisees are seated at the chair of Moses. Therefore, do whatever they tell you and observe it. But don't do what they do, because they don't practice what they teach. They tie up heavy loads that are hard to carry and put them on people's shoulders, but they themselves aren't willing to lift a finger to move them. They do everything to be seen by others. They enlarge and lengthen their tassels. They love the place of honor at banquets, the front seats in the synagogues, greeting in by the marketplaces, and to be called rabbi by people. But you are not to be called rabbi, because you have one teacher, and you are all brothers and sisters. Do not call anyone on earth your father, because you have one Father who is in heaven. You are not to be called instructors either, because you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces, for you don't go in, and you don't allow those entering to go in. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to make one convert, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a child of hell as you are. Woe to you, blind guides, who say, whoever takes an oath by the temple, it means nothing. But whoever takes an oath by the gold of the temple is bound by his oath. Blind fools. Well, which is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctified the gold? Also, whoever takes an oath by the altar, it means nothing. But whoever takes an oath by the gift that is on is bound by its oath. Blind people. For which is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifies the gift? Therefore, the one who takes an oath by the altar takes an oath by it and everything on it. The one who takes an oath by the temple takes an oath by it, and by him who dwells in it. And the one who takes an oath by heaven takes an oath by God's throne, and by him who sits on it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You pay a tenth of mint, dill, and cumin, and yet you have neglected the more important matters of the law: justice, mercy, and faithfulness. These things should have been done without neglecting the others. Blind guides! You strain out a gnat, but gulp down a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee! First clean the inside of the cup, so that the outside of it may also become clean. Yeah, me too. Said, woe to you. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which appear beautiful on the outside, but inside are full of bones of the dead and every kind of impurity. In the same way, on the outside you seem righteous to people, but inside you are full of hypocrisy, and lawlessness. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! I like saying that for some reason. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the graves of the righteous. And you say, if we have lived in the days of our ancestors, we wouldn't have taken part with them in shedding the prophets' blood. So you testify against yourselves that you are descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up then the measure of your ancestors, their sins. Snakes, brood of vipers, how can you escape being condemned to hell? This is why I am sending you prophets, sages, and scribes. Some of them you will kill and crucify, and some of them you will flog in your synagogues, and pursue from town. So all the righteous bloodshed on the earth will be charged to you, from the blood of the righteous, Abel, to the blood of Zechariah, son of Bechariah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Truly I tell you, all these things will come on this generation. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, who kills the prophets and stones those are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. See, your house is left you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. All right, so we've actually just finished chapter 22 and 23, but I feel like reading some more, so I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 24. So if you guys are sticking with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. All right, so chapter 24, which is titled, Destruction of the Temple Predicted. As Jesus left and was going out to the temple, his disciples came up and called his attention to its buildings. He replied to them, do you see all of these things? Truly I tell you, not one stone will be left here on another that will not be thrown down. Signs of the end of the age. While he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples approached him privately and said, tell us, when will these things happen? And what is the sign of your coming in the end of the age? Jesus replied to them, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name saying, I am the Messiah, and they will deceive many. You are going to hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, because these things must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All of these events are beginning of labor pains. Verse 9. Then they will hand you over to be persecuted, and they will kill you. You will be hated by all nations because of my name. Then many will fall away, betray one another, and hate one another. Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Because lawlessness will multiply, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. This good news of the kingdom will be proclaimed in all of the world's testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Verse 15. So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, then those in Judea must flee to the mountains. A man on the housetop must not come down to get things out of his house, and a man in the field must not go back to get his coat. Woe to pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Pray that your escape may not be in winter or on the Sabbath, for at that time there will be great distress, the kind that hasn't taken place from the beginning of the world until now and never will again. Unless those days were cut short, no one will be saved. But those days will be cut short because of the elect. If anyone tells you then, see, here is the Messiah, or over here, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. Take note, I have told you in advance. So if they tell you, see, he's in the wilderness, don't go out. Or, see, he's in the storerooms, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes to the east and flashes as far as the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever the carcass is, there is vultures that will gather. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not shed its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and then all the peoples of the earth will mourn. And they will see the Son of Man coming on clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He will send out his angels in a loud trumpet, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the sky to the other. I'm going to put a pin in right here. I remember when I was younger, my dad, before he passed, he was a preacher, and this is one of the stories that he used to tell us all the time. He used to talk about how, he will send his angels out with his trumpet, and we would hear the large, sounds of the trumpet and the winds and stuff. And he used to make these sounds of the trumpet, and it was just absolutely amazing. And to actually read this in my adult years to get the full understanding of it, it just adds so much more meaning to my dad's story and, well, him telling the story of the Bible. And reading that just made me feel really good. So let's get back started. All right, so verse 32, the parable of the fig tree. Learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its branch becomes tender and sprouts leaves, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, recognize that he is near at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. No one knows the day or the hour. Now concerning that day and hour, no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, except the Father alone. As the days of Noah were, so the coming of the Son of Man will be. For in those days, before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah boarded the ark. They didn't know until the flood came and swept them all away. This is the way the coming of the Son of Man will be. Then two men will be in the fields, one will be taken and one left. Two women will be grinding grain with a hand mill, and one will be taken and one left. Therefore be alert, since you don't know what day your Lord is coming. But know this, if the homeowner had known what time the thief was coming, he would have stayed alert and not let his house be broken into. This is why you are also to be ready, because the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his master has put in charge of his household, to give them food at the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom the master finds doing his job when he comes. Truly I tell you, he will put him in charge of all of his possessions. But if that wicked servant says in his heart, my master is delayed, and starts to beat his fellow servants and eat and drinks with drunkards. That servant's master will come on a day he does not expect him, at an hour he does not know. He will cut him to pieces and assign him with the place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Okay, it looks like we've already made it to chapter 25, and I still have the energy to continue, so I'm just going to continue on. All right, chapter 25. The parable of the 10 virgins. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the groom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. When the foolish took their lamps, they didn't take oil with them, but the wise ones took oil in their flasks with their lamps. When the groom was delayed, they all became drowsy and fell asleep. In the middle of the night, there was a shout, "Here's the groom! Come out to meet him!" Then all the virgins got up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise ones, "Give us some of your oil, because our lamps are going out." The wise ones answered, "No, there won't be enough for us and for you. Go, go instead to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." When they had gone to buy some, the groom arrived, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the rest of the virgins also came in and said, "Master, Master, open up for us." He replied, "Truly I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore be alert, because you don't know either the day or the hour." The parable of the talents. For those, it is just like a man about to go on a journey. He called his own servants and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, depending on each one's ability. Then he went on a journey. Immediately the man who had received 5 talents went, put them to work, and earned 5 more. In the same way, the man who had earned two, in the same way, the man with 2 earned 2 more. But the man who had received 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 talents approached, presented 5 more talents, and said, "Master, you gave me 5 talents. See, I've earned 5 more talents." His master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things, so I will put you in charge of many. Share your master's joy." The man with 2 talents also approached. He said, "Master, you gave me 2 talents. See, I've earned 2 more talents." His master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Share your master's joy." The man who had received 1 talent also approached and said, "Master, I know you. You're a harsh man, reaping where you haven't sown and gathering where you haven't scattered. So I was afraid and went off and hid your talent in the ground. See, you have what is yours." His master replied to him, "You evil, lazy servant. If you knew that I reap where I haven't sown and gather where I haven't scattered, then you should have deposited my money with the bankers, and I would have received my money back with interest when I returned. So take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have more than enough. But from the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him, and he throw his good for nothing servant into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth." The sheep and the goats. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and with all the angels, with him he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another. Just as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats, he will put the sheep on his right and the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you by the foundation of this world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or without clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison or and visit you? And the king will answer him, Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Thank you so much for liking the live. I really appreciate that. Then he will also say to those on the left, Depart from me, you who are cursed, into eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you didn't take me in. I was naked, and you didn't clothe me. Sick and in prison, you didn't take care of me. Then they too will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or without clothes, or sick, or in prison, and not help you? Then he will tell them, Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for the one of the least of these, you did not do for me. And they will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. Okay, you guys, so we just read together Matthew chapter 22 all the way to 25. So that leaves us with Matthew chapter 26 through 28. So tomorrow we're going to reconnect here on live and we're going to read chapters 26 to 28 all together. Okay. So I'm not sure of the actual time that I'm going to come live, but I'll post it in my community to let you guys know. And I might just do it in the morning because I'm actually working from home tomorrow and Friday. So I might just come on in the morning. So if I do, I will be so grateful if you guys would come back and meet me there. So big thanks to everyone who attended tonight's live, everyone who liked the live and just supported me on tonight. If you didn't get a chance to catch it like live, you can catch it on the replay and I will see you there. All right, loves. Have a great night. Bye.